Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Kent City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. It's our first council meeting of the new year, so glad to see everybody back. If you could all please rise and join me in the flag salute.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Kim, could you please call the roll?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mayor Ralph.
Here.
Council President Kaur.
Here.
Councilmember Boyce. Councilmember Boyd.
Here.
Councilmember Fincher.
Here.
Councilmember Larmer.
Here.
Councilmember Michaud.
Here.
Councilmember Troutner.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Item number 3 is approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? All right, then a motion would be in order to approve the agenda as published.
So move.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to item number 4, public communications. We've got a couple of different items this evening, and we're going to start with the Employee of the Month. So our first Employee of the Month for January 2025. The front row on this side should give it away. Really excited to announce that Logan Todd from our law department is our January 25 Employee of the Month. Logan was originally hired on November 16, 2022 as an assistant city attorney. The assistant city attorney assists the city attorney by providing a variety of professional... I just read what's on the piece of paper. The assistant city attorney assists the city attorney by providing a variety of professional legal services to the chief administrative officer, mayor, city council, city administration, city staff, appointed boards, committees, and task force. Logan was nominated because he exemplifies the qualities of a dedicated, hardworking, and highly professional team member who goes above and beyond in every aspect of his role. Logan consistently manages a demanding and diverse workload with remarkable grace and efficiency. That is a really nice description, and I would absolutely agree with that. From handling complex legal matters to navigating routine tasks, he approaches everything with the same level of diligence, ensuring that no detail is overlooked. What stands out most about Logan is his willingness to take on additional responsibilities, often volunteering to tackle more work without hesitation, even when his plate is already full. One of Logan's most significant contributions is his ongoing commitment to providing contract training to city staff. He delivers this training in a clear, concise, and approachable manner, ensuring that the information is accessible and useful to all participants. His ability to break down complex legal concepts and make them relatable has earned him consistent praise from clients and colleagues alike. In every way, Logan embodies the qualities of a true team player. His tireless work ethic, professionalism, and positive attitude have made a lasting impact on the law department and the whole city. Agree 100%. Logan, congratulations. I'm going to turn it over to Tammy to say a few words, and then Christina.
So Logan, you know how we all feel about you up in the law department, but for council's benefit, he's been with us for a little over 2 years and has already become such an integral part of our team. I could not imagine doing this job without all of the assistance that we get from Logan. He has stepped into some really big projects of the city. Keyhawk, the Kent East Hill Operations Center, he's taken on primary legal counsel on that project with Julie Paris-Condola and Brian Levenhagen. He also has worked with Julie on the golf course and getting a new restaurant in there and assisted her with RFP issues and contracting issues. He's helped me immensely on complicated personnel and HR-related matters. He truly is just always there and willing to jump in, and you can tell that he was raised by educators. He has a very calm air about him. He's great at teaching and instructing staff on contract procedures, but does it in such a way where he helps you along with the process and helps you learn the steps to go through. So while he's been here for just a little over 2 years, I hope that there are many years in him with Kent to come, because he truly is absolutely wonderful. So congratulations, Logan. Very well deserved.
And just to echo all of what's been said, and just to add that Logan has packed his 2+ years with high quality work, no matter the task. You've heard from routine and simple to complicated and stressful. And he does so with a problem-solving, considerate, and educational approach. And he never seems to lose his sense of humor, which we appreciate very much. This is surely the reason he's quickly built strong relationships across the city. And so in closing, I was going to read a compliment from a client, which I think sums it up. He's responsive, helpful, he does great work, and he's a nice person.
Oh, that's perfect.
Thank you. Congrats.
Logan, I am not going to put you on the spot, but I will offer an opportunity. If you'd like to say a few words, you may, or you may not.
No, I really want to these two, the rest of the legal department, just fantastic. I really appreciate their support. It feels like I've been here much longer than 2 years at this point. So, no, in a good way.
In the most positive way.
In the most positive way. So I really appreciate just everyone in the legal department. So thank you all very much.
And I would second that. I feel like you have been a part of this team for a really long time and absolutely the go-to person for a lot of our departments. So thank you so much. Congratulations. All right, the next item on our agenda is reappointment to the Salary Commission. Julie Miller is being reappointed to a second term. Council, that information is in your packet and on consent calendar. The next item this evening is a proclamation for National Mentoring Month. So I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation, and then we've got a couple of folks in the audience I'll have come up and we can speak to it. So whereas January 2025 marks the annual observance of National Mentoring Month, a nationwide campaign to celebrate and promote the power of mentoring relationships. And whereas mentoring provides meaningful connections that positively impact the lives of both mentors and mentees, fostering personal growth, educational success, and social emotional development. And whereas mentors serve as role models, guiding young people through challenges and encouraging them to reach their full potential, helping to build a bright future for our communities. And whereas organizations like Mentor Washington and other local mentoring programs such as Glover Empower Mentoring, GEM, Eileen and Callie's Place, RAP Youth, and Communities in Schools play a vital role in training mentors, supporting mentees, and strengthening communities by fostering these invaluable relationships. Whereas National Mentoring Month calls upon individuals, businesses, schools, and faith communities, as well as civic organizations, to become engaged in mentoring, ensuring every young person has access to caring and supportive guidance. And whereas the City of Kent recognizes the importance of mentoring as a proven strategy to increase school engagement, reduce risky behaviors, improve mental health outcomes, and inspire young people to achieve success. Now therefore I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of Kent, do hereby proclaim January 2025 as National Mentoring Month in Kent, Washington, and encourage all residents to celebrate the dedicated mentors who make a difference in the lives of others, to consider becoming a mentor, and to support local mentoring programs that strengthen our community. I would like to invite Jolyn Kennedy and Rayshun Sampson, along with Carmen Goers, up to accept the proclamation and say a few words. So we've got from Mentor Washington, as well as Eileen and Callie's Place. So before you get all comfortable, we're going to come over here and do a quick picture.
Perfect. Love it. And you have words written on it. Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the council. My name is Jolyn Kenny, and I serve as the Executive Director of Mentor Washington. We're a statewide public-private partnership nonprofit, and our role is to build supports for young people in all communities. While my career takes me across the state, I am proud to say I bought my first home in Kent in 2019. I grew up in poverty and am the first and only woman in my family to have graduated from college, so owning a home on East Hill brings me great joy. Tonight, I am joined by Kent-based mentoring programs such as Eileen and Callie's Place to bring awareness to the impact youth mentoring can have in our community. When we provide support to young people and families, we know that mentoring can promote well-being and help set youth up to thrive as adults. Businesses and community members in Kent want to live and work in thriving, safe neighborhoods, perhaps the safest room in the city at the moment with our new police officers. Investing in the well-being and supports for youth is critical. I'm certain that many of you can name mentors in your own life that improved your well-being and encouraged you and maybe gave you a swift kick in the pants when you needed it. If anyone is interested in becoming a local mentor or learning more about our mission, please visit our website at mentorwashington.org. Again, thank you for this recognition and for promoting the necessary supports for young people. Thank you.
Less prepared, but my name is Carmen Goers. I'm the board chair for Eileen and Callie's Place, standing in on behalf of Dr. Natalie, who's out due to injury, but wanted to thank the city for their acknowledgement of what we do and recognize, as was well stated before, that we all need mentors in our life. So no matter who you are, what status you are in life, look to see who you can speak into. Your words bring life. Eileen Callie's Place works with young ladies aging out of foster care, and it's really important that we build a strong foundation upon which we can grow, because it takes a foundation for you to grow a tall tree, as we all know. So again, on behalf of Eileen Callie's Place, thank you for the acknowledgement and appreciate your support of our organization. You can find more information at eileenandcalliesplace.org, and we're looking for mentors and looking for events to host our young ladies as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that proclamation is a fantastic way to start off the year with that reminder that all of our youth in our community need those supports, sometimes because of the lack of supports at home, but also sometimes because wisdom coming from someone other than mom and dad makes all the difference in the world. I'm looking at all of the parents up here nodding their head that sometimes it just lands differently. So really, really grateful for organizations like Eileen and Callie's Place, GEM, RAP, and Communities in Schools doing great work. So thank you so much. All right, community events. Council President Kaur.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have updates here from Assessor Sherwood Center. There's events happening on January, today is the 21st. So January 25th, Tacoma Stars versus Empire Strikers. January 28th is K-pop group. And February 2nd is Harlem Globetrotters, I'm so sorry, 2025 World Tour presented by Jersey Mike Subs. And February 28th is OB Worship Night, and then we get into July's schedule. But there's a lot of things happening here, and you can find the tickets at assessorsherwoodcenter.com.
All right. Councilmember Fincher.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a reminder about the Spotlight Series, Kent's Entertainment Series, and it's great entertainment, good prices here locally, held at Kent Meridian High School. This week, we have the Jazz at Lincoln Center. We also have another presentation coming up the very beginning of the month. Actually, I think there are two presentations, all sorts of entertainment. There's International Guitar Night. That's the other one that's coming up. But there's Irish music, there's folk music, all different kinds. So check it out. Go to the kentwa.gov website, scroll down, and you'll be able to see information on that. And then a big important one right now, starting today through the 11th of February, you have the opportunity to be able to vote at kingcd.org. You can go there and vote for the supervisor who is running for Region 2. That election is only online. Go there, find out more about it, kingcd.org.
All right, any other community events? Okay, we will go ahead and move on. The next item on our agenda, and one of the reasons why this is the safest room in town, Chief Padilla is coming with our public safety report.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, there's a lot of people in uniforms in here tonight, and that's a good thing. So, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, it's my pleasure to bring you the January report for 2025. First one to kick us off. And we'll start with some good news and an honor. We get to do some swearing-ins today. So I'm going to call up 5 of our newest. 3 of them are corrections officers, and 2 are new police officers. So we'll have, let me get the list here because it's long. Jason Dimitrov, Jaden Gomez, Bryce Moore, our corrections officers, and Officer Evan Curtis and Connor Thompson. Please come up forward here. And go the other way. We rehearsed this, guys. All right, here we go. We'll go ahead and introduce each of them, starting with the corrections officer. So I'll start with Jason Dimitrov first. He's born in Miami, Florida, but raised in the Pacific Northwest his entire life. He lived in Des Moines for most of his early life, then moved to the hilltop area of Tacoma in his teenage years. He went to Mount Rainier High School, where he was on the swim team all 4 years. And then after high school, he realized college wasn't going to be for him, so he joined the Navy Reserve, where he got some experience and became a corpsman. He lives with his girlfriend and their newborn baby girl. And prior to Kent PD, he worked as a casino security officer at Emerald Queen Casino and later a medical assistant for Discovery Health. When we asked him why he chose Kent, he said that a career in law enforcement has always been his dream. He thought the thought of helping out and being part of the community and a team was always something that appealed to him. When he got a chance to learn and tour our jail, he knew this is where he wanted to be. Outside of work, when the newborn isn't taking up his time, is what he writes. I don't think that's the newborn, but he spends time weightlifting, reading manga. Now, I had to look this up. That's like a Japanese-style comic, right? Is that what that is? Okay.
Manga.
And playing games on his computer and spending time with his friends and family. Ladies and gentlemen, Corrections Officer Jason Dimitrov. Jason, do you have a family you want to introduce in the audience? No? Okay. All right, you can step back. Next up, we have Corrections Officer Jaden Gomez. Jaden was born in Washington, grew up in Arlington. He attended North Lake High School and then did Running Start. He graduated during the start of COVID, which is an interesting time, which made his college career halt for a while. Then, let's see here. He decided to enter the workforce after that. He worked in retail, construction type jobs, and was hired by the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office. Before the opportunity to work for KPD, he did records technician there at Snohomish for 2 years, working through the ranks and became a supervisor for them. He made a move to Kent, and he chose Kent because of the good reputation this department has and how it treats its employees. Although it's a little far from where he grew up, he definitely appreciated the opportunity and the experience that he already gained working here so far. Outside of work, he likes the outdoors, recreational shooting, riding motorcycles, and being with friends and family. Something notable he put in his bio is that he decided to get into public safety at a young age. I think 23 is what it was. And he wanted to serve others where he could be a part of something bigger than himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Corrections Officer Jaden Gomez. Jaden, anybody you want to introduce? Family, friends?
It's a no for me, too.
No? Okay. I hope he's not ignoring anybody out there, just saying. Okay. All right. They have to have cake. Next up for our corrections officers, we have Officer Bryce Moore. Bryce was born in Las Vegas and raised in Stanwood, Washington, with 3 brothers and 1 sister. After high school, he pursued a degree in video game design and earned his BA, but then also realized that he had a passion for law enforcement, and so that's what drove him here. For family, he met his wife in high school, and they have been together since they were 15. They have 3 daughters and enjoy outdoor activities like family camping trips. Before Kent, in college, he worked in construction. The reason he chose Kent is the extensive career opportunities, including our CO to PO program. That's our correction officers to police officers program, which we've had a lot of success in having people move through that experience. He said also the people that he met during his hiring process sold him on the culture here at Kent PD. Something notable about him, other than I guess meeting his wife at 15, is he loves to travel to different countries to experience new cultures. Ladies and gentlemen, Corrections Officer Bryce Moore. Bryce, any family?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. All right, transitioning to our police officers. We have 1 entry-level officer, brand new, and 1 lateral officer we're gonna swear in tonight. We'll start with the entry-level officer, Evan Curtis. Born and raised in Northern California, grew up in a small town called Cloverdale, and he moved to Washington in October of 2020. Prior to moving here, he's working on his associate's degree in psychology and plans on completing that degree. Before being hired with Kent PD, he was an asset protection manager for Fred Meyers. Fred Meyers, and prior to that, he was a carpenter. He chose Kent because of the people we met in the hiring process and the work he saw being done out in the city. Everyone was welcoming, and they all seemed very hardworking and driven, is what he wrote. He wants to work for a city that challenges him to be his best every day, and he figured this was the place to do that. He has a brother who's a police officer in California, and his father is a retired firefighter and paramedic, so first responder public safety is in his blood. They were both huge inspirations for him, is what he notes here. Outside of work, he spends most of his time outdoors. He loves hiking, camping, practice shooting, and doing pretty much anything that's outside. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Evan Curtis. Do I dare ask about family, Evan?
I have my girlfriend Grace and her mom Jill here.
Well, all right. Last but certainly not least, we have Officer Connor Thompson. He's a lateral police officer. Connor was born and raised in Olathe, Kansas, before moving to Seattle last summer with his significant other. He went to college in Omaha, Nebraska at Creighton, I think that's what it says here, University, before becoming a police officer with the Olathe, Kansas Police Department. I'm probably saying that wrong. He has a bachelor's degree, like I said, from Creighton in political science and international relations. Before Kent PD, he was a police officer, like I said, for 5 years, including his time as a field training officer, cadet advisor, and he was on the honor guard as well. Reason for choosing Kent, I said, when looking to move here in this area, he was looking for a city with a police force with various opportunities and that stays busy. Check. Kent appeared to be a department with all that call volume that what he says necessitates quality police officers and would be dynamic and interesting every day. During his time off, he enjoys going on hikes, going on walks with his dog, and trying new restaurants. Something notable he put in his bio or interesting about himself, he says during his sophomore year in college, he spent a semester studying abroad in Rabat, Morocco. I probably said that wrong too. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Connor Thompson. Connor, anybody you want to introduce?
Just my fiance, Jillian Straub.
Welcome. All right, Mayor Ralph, would you do the honors, please?
I state your name.
I, Jason
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the United States of America,
to the United States of America,
the state of Washington,
the state of Washington,
and the city of Kent.
and the city of Kent.
That I will uphold the Constitution and laws
I will uphold the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Washington,
and the state of Washington,
and that I will obey the rules and regulations
and I will obey the rules and regulations
of the Kent Police Department.
of the Kent Police Department.
Gentlemen, that was impressive how well you were all on point. I want to say congratulations. Last test is we're going to come over and go ahead and sign these. The chief will sign them, and then you can say hello to council.
Thank you, guys.
Took us so long to get here.
I'll step back into the center.
Oh, wow. Perfect.
Maybe take a step back so you can get you all in the frame. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So shake hands there. Okay, that was good. Just kind of quick staffing note. We're still holding very stable, but as things happen, we had quick 4 retirements at the end of last year. And thank you very much. You guys granted us additional positions. So we're down a little bit, but those will get filled very quickly, I assure you. So With that, next thing on the agenda, year-end stats. So at the last council meeting, we had pretty close to final stats. These are the final stats. And they held pretty true in terms of the reductions in every category. We looked at the numbers last time, so I won't go into great detail, other than just to note that we are looking at numbers that are at 5-year lows. So more than just a 2-year recovery, these are 5-year lows, which is, I think, is very impressive. A lot of work going into that. Getting fully staffed is huge. Getting our new officers trained so they can do the job is also a huge part of that. So we'll talk about what we can look forward to in 2025, some of the things we're looking at. Those are the numbers that we finished up with. All right. Whoops. Sorry, Kim. I'll let you do it. You got it. All right, let's go back then. I forget which council member asked me last time to bring more detail to our homicide numbers, so that's what I want to talk about next here, following up on that request. So I want to note before we go that these are cases that have not been adjudicated through the court process, so I have to be very careful on what I say. So no significant details. We'll do high overview for numbers and data purposes. I also want to note these are homicides that are related to felonious crimes. So they don't include things like our vehicle homicides, although those are for felonious crimes. We track those in a different category. And we don't include things like officer-involved shootings. Okay, so these are criminal suspect on victim. So our totals for 2024 were 11 homicides. In 2023, we had 16. So that's a 31% decrease right there. Of the 11 that we had this year, 9 are solved, which is an 81% clearance rate. The national average, I think you've heard me say this before, for clearing homicides, I mean solving them, is 57.8. So we are way above. And I want to say that 81% is kind of a low year, but I will tell you that we're not done. The 2 outstanding cases that we have not solved yet, we have very strong leads, and I feel very comfortable saying that I believe we will solve those cases at some point here. So our detectives continue to do really good in that. So 81%, like I said, 2 cases remain active with solid leads. What does that stat mean? Why do I bring it up? It's not only an indicator of how effective our investigators are, but it's also a reminder that we are closing these things out and bring closure to the victims of the families of the victims. And that's huge too. I can't even imagine what it would be like to have someone have a family member murdered and not ever get closure to what happened, or bringing someone to justice for the crime. So that's a really big, important part of what they do. Of the dispositions for the cases, 1 case was determined to be self-defense. We did refer that case to the prosecutors and confirm that. 7 cases, we've made arrests, and cases are pending for trial. In 2 of the cases that I talked about that are remaining, we have strong suspect information and leads. And like I said, we'll be closing the loop on those. And 1 is a little bit of a whodunit. It's a newer case that we just came in. And so we are developing leads and evidence in that, and we'll update more on that later. Related to the crime, so what is the precipitating crime that led or was involved in the homicide? The breakdown is as follows. Domestic violence was one of the incidents. 2 of the incidents were started off as fights and assaults. 3 of the incidents were related to drug trafficking, drug transactions going bad. 1 of them was a robbery with gang ties that went bad. 2 of these, and this was a little bit of a surprise to me, 2 of these started out as bar fights that ended up in shootings. We had 1 road rage incident that ended up in a shooting. And like I said on that last one, we were starting to put together the case. We have not determined what the related crime was for that last homicide. In terms of how the murders were committed, 8 of the homicides were committed by firearm, 2 were physical assaults. So 36% of the homicides were committed by youth offenders. That remains really high, so a little over a third. With the youngest of our offenders, we had 2 offenders this year that were 15 years old. Okay. 27% of the victims were youth, with the youngest being 13-year-old. If you guys remember that tragic incident we had up at Turnkey. So that's the one. I do want to say very clearly, these numbers are still too high. So I'm not, waving a flag of mission accomplished here. We have seen improvement. We will continue to work towards driving these numbers even further down this next year. And so that's what we have for you in terms of homicide. Again, big thanks to the officers who show up and preserve crime scenes so that the detectives can do their job. So it's a team effort on that. And Mayor, I'll pause there if there are any questions.
Councilmember Michaud.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for this presentation, Chief. I had a question about the homicide that happened near KM at Campus Park.
Yes.
Is that one of the cases that you arrested someone?
Yes, and that was a drug trafficking case.
Okay.
Unfortunately, tragically, a youth involved in drug trafficking.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the chief? Councilmember Boyd.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief. I got a question for you, and it might be a secret, so you don't have to tell me, okay? But what do you accredit your drop in crime stats from the past year? What do you accredit it to? Did you get more police officers, or you out on the streets more, or just doing more detective duties, or what's going on?
Yeah, great question. I would attribute it to a combination of things. So as we are able to fill our vacancies in the department, that means I could backfill and assign detectives and get them trained up. So yes, we had more detectives available to do the work, which was huge. The other thing is, and thanks to you and the mayor, you've allowed us to invest in very sophisticated technology that is necessary in today's day and age to get these crimes solved. I'll be very clear to the public about it. If you commit a violent crime in Kent, we have really good tools at our disposal to try and solve the case and bring you to justice. I won't go into too many details on that, but you've approved things like our flock cameras and some of our video technology, which is within the law and above board, but also crucial to what we're doing. Okay. So, and then lastly, I got to give some credit to a little bit of the change in loosening the restrictions on law enforcement to do their job. Mm-hmm. I would think that would be the last component to it. With those three things combined, you're seeing numbers drop across the region and across it's also a trend across the country. Okay. The one caveat, as we've mentioned, and I've got to put this on the record, we're still seeing juvenile crimes be higher than they should be.
Yeah, that's terrible too. So where are you right now with your quota? I mean, how many more officers are you looking to hire?
We've got the 4 retirements and then 3 additional vacancies that were given to us starting January 1 in this budget cycle. We're also, just for other information, we're also down 5 corrections officers, so we'll be trying to hire that up. We have a good list that we're working on for hiring that.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Also, a very important reminder that is what we have budgeted for, but we are down probably 35 to 45 officers for what we should have for a city our size. Unfortunately, very, very different numbers.
All right. If there's no more questions, I'll move forward. So things coming up that I want to provide information on and what you can expect in 2025 for the department. First off, we talked about the new positions. 4 of those new positions are going to be sergeants. And we strategically chose sergeants this time versus more officers because we have newer officers, and what we're discovering is that our span of control is not in line with kind of industry standards. We run a span of control of about 5 or 10 to 12 officers per sergeant, and we should be closer to 6. As you can imagine, that oversight is important for a lot of things. Making sure we're doing things the right way, making sure sergeants are intervening when they need to doing the mentoring, coaching, counseling they need of our new officers, and then helping us keep the culture that we want here in Kent, right? That culture of service and compassion and accountability and enforcement. So that's where one of the investments are coming, and you'll see more of that. The 4 additional allow us to have 2 sergeants on 24/7, and that's big. For a city our size and as much of a call volume as we have, that's a real big deal. So that's coming. We also added a corrections sergeant for the same purpose. Currently, our corrections sergeants have to We call them working sergeants. So they have to take some assignments within the jail, which pulls them away from actually running the show and making sure they're monitoring everything safely. That is one of the things that will be help with that. You can see us use some of that new technology more that you granted us through the budget. We will be bringing on our fleet cameras, so the dash cameras in the patrol cars. I want to be careful. We're currently working with the union to negotiate the contract language for it. I'm just going to say in advance it's coming, and we will have it out there. So what does that do? In addition to the body-worn cameras, we will now have visibilities from a perspective of the car. So think about your traffic stops, think about your pursuits, think about your collisions. So increased transparency and accountability, increased evidence recovery. These cameras are outfitted with ALPRs, automatic license plate readers. Those license plate readers are connected to our flock cameras, and those flock cameras are networked throughout the region. I've reported before, those cameras help us find leads to criminal cases. We've solved homicides and shootings because we were able to use that technology. It's very important. And the last, but definitely not least, we believe these cameras help with officer safety. Everybody knows they're on camera. People just act better, and that's been tried and true. We have a new records management system coming online for both the police department and our jail system, which will help us do a better job of recording what we do and then capturing the data and the analysis that follows on with that. So that'll be a big improvement. In terms of operations, we're going to press harder into proactive preventative patrols. We saw more arrests, more patrols, more community engagement in 2024, and we're going to step it up even more in this coming year. So, of course, all of that hinges greatly on our ability to keep our staffing flush. You're going to see increase in our crime reduction unit that should be fully operational this year, and they will target our crime hotspots as they've been already. You're going to see broader deployment of our specialized units like NRT, traffic, and CEU, and when we backfill all those positions and get them flush, which we're getting closer and closer to having. So all of that to say, we're going to continue to do what we can, do everything we can within our power to keep our community safe. So that's what's coming there. And then last, I want to put in a plug for Police 24/7 TV series. I guess TV series is wrong. Streaming, you can stream it now. I don't even know if it's on conventional TV, to be honest. But last year, we were asked to participate as one of a handful of departments across the country to be involved in this docu-series. We were one of 2 chosen in Washington, and we had a film crew out with us for about 2 months last year, out on patrol, filming what our officers do, and we were really pleased to have the opportunity to showcase what a great job's going on out there. So season 2, which several episodes will involve our officers, kicks off this Wednesday, the 23rd. You can see the show, I guess stream the show, using the CW app or go to, let me look at the website here, cwtv.com. And so we're going to put a social media blast, and then as the episodes come up that involve our officers, we'll be noting that, hopefully with the link so that you can watch. I have not watched every minute of every episode, but the ones I've seen are confirm what I know. Our officers do a really good job, and things are pretty difficult sometimes. So it really is kind of a view into the day-to-day, which all of you have seen because you've all done ride-alongs. So with that, looking forward to that. Tell your friends. And Madam Mayor, I'll take any questions.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Questions for the Chief?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we are going to move on to item number 5 on our agenda, which is reports. All of our council members serve on a variety of regional or statewide committees. Really grateful for their willingness to be at those tables, making sure that Kent's voice is being heard and that we are in the running for competitive grants and policy making. I'm going to start out. I've got a couple of quick reports this evening. First one, Transportation Policy Board through Puget Sound Regional Council. I do chair that board. Our meeting for this month, we had a couple of topics. First one being the continued development of our regional transportation plan as we're going through and talking about things like funding and what that looks like for the region and those major projects. But also we're talking about the regional safety safety plan. So that has been released for public comment. If you're interested in taking a look at it, you can go to PSRC, Puget Sound Regional Council's website, psrc.org, and take a look at that plan, really talking about that safe system approach, which Council have had lots of presentations on, and looking at our transportation system as a whole and how do we continue to make safety improvements there. So again, go ahead and go to PSRC's website, take a look at it, and public comment is open on that right now. Another meeting that I had the opportunity to attend last week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I was in Washington, D.C. for the U.S. Conference of Mayors meeting. Really good conversation with mayors from across the United States, cities of all different sizes. We had conversations around things like, what does AI look like in the context of local government? Very powerful tool, but it's still new. And so how do we develop policies for the use of it, what it looks like for things like public records? So some really good conversations there, as well as cybersecurity. Had conversations. I am the vice chair of the U.S. Conference of Mayors Transportation Committee around the new economy. So when I say new economy, not new to Kent, meaning that delivery economy. And so what are the impacts of that, and how are cities looking at the impacts of the additional truck traffic? Again, I believe I was chosen for that role because we have a lot of experience in what those impacts look like. So weighing in on those conversations. Also had the opportunity to visit our local congressional delegates along with the mayor of Renton to talk about our ongoing federal priorities. Finally, had the honor of the keynote speaker being President Joe Biden, so his final public appearance as president. So really good conference, and I think really valuable in developing those relationships. Last thing I want to highlight is our Kent Sister Cities annual meeting that was held last week. So we have 3 active sister cities: Tomba, Japan; Yeongjo, China; and Sunnfjord, Norway. Committees that are managing all of those sister city relationships, and we do have active student exchanges with all of them. So if you know a late middle school, high school student that's interested in an exchange, check out the Kent Sister Cities webpage on our website. They also are on social media. Fantastic opportunity to travel abroad and develop those lifelong relationships. We did hear from one of the students that spent 10 days in Yeongjo, China, about his exchange. And as you can imagine, with a teenage boy, 95% of the pictures were all about the food. And then some cool pictures of the Great Wall. But again, it's a great opportunity for our students. And if you know anybody, they're always looking for kids to participate in those programs. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our Chief Administrative Officer, Pat Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Council, as you know, the legislative session has started, and we are off to a furious start. I can tell you the ECD has probably reviewed about 15 bills. Law, probably 5. HR, Public Works have also they've also been reviewing bills, and what we're doing is reviewing specific, detailed language down to the word to find things that can be written better or things that we like, et cetera, and then providing comments to Brianna. She then passes them off to our legislators, hopefully in an effort to refine the bills or have an impact on whether or not they're approved. So. We are doing that work now. I'm hoping the pace slows down because it's a lot of work. There are so many bills coming through right now. So we're heavy into that. Tomorrow, the council president and I are meeting with Jim Reed to talk about the council retreat coming up on March 7th. So we'll be starting the process of developing, as we do every year, the agenda for that. And then, as you heard today in council, we now have 2 fiber companies that are interested in bringing fiber to the city of Kent. I just want to remind you that we can do a franchise agreement, but we cannot dictate that they come in and actually put fiber in. So we are hopeful that we have options in the future. Some of the indications are that we finally see some promising movement in this regard, and we will keep you and the public posted as we get closer, hopefully, to some kind of actual installment of fiber in the city. So that's a big thing. We're hoping that's coming soon, and we staff continue to work on that to make that a possibility here. So thank you.
Thank you. That fiber conversation ongoing for quite some time, but top of mind for a lot of our residents today as there was vandalism at a Comcast station in Tukwila that has caused an outage. Last report we had is hopefully that service will be restored later this evening, but choices are a good thing. So, Council President, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Earlier this evening, we had our Committee of the Whole meeting, and that is actually where we heard from our attorney, Christina Shook, about the fiber actually presentation, and we approved it on, put it on consent agenda today just to review that contract. And we also had our council workshop where we had great presentation on all the great grants that come into our city from PSRC, WashDOT, and Transportation Improvement Board, and all that funding that comes in, and all the amazing projects that we have made progress in 2024 and will be working on in 2025. And those presentations are available on TV 21 or on our Facebook page. I serve as the chair for Puget Sound Clean Air Agency Advisory Council, and we had our update on our seasonal wood smoke update, and we talked about the burn bans that have decreased significantly since 2008. For anyone who's interested, you can actually check out the air quality monitors on map.pscleanair.gov. And they also have a lending library for air quality sensors if you're interested in putting them in your neighborhood or in your community. We also had an update from Climate Pollution Regional Grant update, and we talked about the community outreach that they're working on with community members, and they're hosting those virtually and in person in various counties that are part of the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency Advisory Council, and that information is available on Puget Sound Clean Air's website. We also have a retreat in person March 12th happening in Seattle, so I'll be attending that. And I had added some links in our council update that comes through a newsletter that we have started late last year. There are links for a diesel grant program, accepting applications, and community sponsorship program, which is for any organizations that are doing any climate or environmental related events or partnerships. I also got appointed to Growth Management Planning Board with Puget Sound Clean Air, Puget Sound Regional Council. And we had an update on housing update from former Representative Frank Chop, speaker, and he talked about the Covenant Home Ownership account. They were able to use that account to fund down payment for 150 homes purchased so far. And we, I also had more update on that committee in the newsletter. And I also serve on 4 other regional committees, but we have not met so far, so I'll have more updates as we get towards, as we meet throughout the year. During that Growth Management Policy Board, I'm so sorry, I'm out of breath right now. We also voted on a recommendation for a comprehensive plan for town of Stellacombe, and we had presentation also from Regional Transportation Plan. And we'll be talking about the safety plan as well. So we just had those amazing presentations, and that is also available on Puget Sound Regional Council's website. And I'll start from my left here with Councilmember Troutner, please.
Thank you, Council President. I sit on the Regional Transit Committee. We met on January 15th. The committee is currently developing our work plan for the next year, but we are also very grateful for the nearly $80 million in federal funding for King County Metro's Rapid Ride I-Line expansion project. We continue to see strong ridership here in Kent, and this funding will help connect South Sound cities and move people more efficiently. So we're very, very excited about that. I also sit on the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority Governance Board along with Councilmember Larmer and Councilmember Boyd. We had our first meeting of the year on January 15th. I have more information on our council member update newsletter where you can find out more about our meeting, but I am happy and honored to have been elected the chair for 2025. Also, congratulations to Councilmember from Tukwila, Jovita McConnell. She will serve as the vice chair. And lastly, I would like to thank the fire crew from the RFA and others from King County that have been in California assisting with the wildfires. We sent several trucks from the RFA. One truck in particular hasn't been able to be used very often, so this is a great opportunity for our firefighters to use that truck in action and help the community of California. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember Trotner. Councilmember Michaud, please.
Thank you, Madam President. All right, I serve as the Parks Subject Matter Chair, and so during our Committee of the Whole meeting, we had one item, and that was to authorize the 2025-2026 Recreation Guide that gets sent out 4 times a year, and there's about 82,000 copies that go out 4 times a year, and so that's just too much for our in-house people to do. So we sent that out, and we approved that. And then I also serve as the council liaison for the Human Services Commission, and we had 2 meetings since our last council meeting. So in December, we went to Vine Maple Place on the East Hill, and we did a tour, and we heard about their services that they offer there, and then we also made some hygiene kits. And then last week, we met again, and Kristen Holdsworth from ECD gave a presentation on the 2044 City of Kent Comprehensive Plan and focusing on housing and other topics relevant to human services. And then the commission approved an Opportunity Fund grant of $20,000 to Mercy Housing on the West Hill. Those funds will be used to support the salary of the youth initiatives and school liaison to ensure that they continue their vital work collaborating with families and schools. It will also support the youth liaison's programming budget. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Michaud. Councilmember Larber, please.
Thank you, Council President. I serve on the King County Aging and Disabilities Advisory Council, and as I think a lot of our regional councils, our subject matter this month was legislative agenda. So putting that together, I can tell you that one of our first legislative agenda items is an ask for $35.4 million for continued funding of the senior nutrition plan throughout the state. Learned some interesting facts about that. Statewide, there's 3.2 million meals delivered. Oh, I'm sorry, in King County, 3.2 million meals delivered to 49,000 seniors in King County. And King County is seeing the highest level of senior poverty in history. Today, 1 out of 10 seniors in Washington state live below the poverty line. And if you're a single senior and qualify for SNAP, that leaves you only about a $23 a month food budget supplement that you're getting. So these meals are really critical in filling that gap. So that is obviously, one of our big priorities is continued funding for that program in King County. I also serve as the subject matter expert for the economic and community development. And tonight at COW, we approved a motion to approve a 8-year tax exemption for a new project in Midway up behind Lowe's. It's an exciting new project that's going to bring 565 new market rate units to the area. And what I'm excited about with this project is it's bringing both studios, which is really great for the Highline students right there across the street, and then 3-bedroom cottages, which these are both a class of housing that we've heard that is very much needed in the community. So glad that we're able to offer that. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Larmer. Councilmember Boyd, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Council President. Before the end of the year, I applied to through Sound City Associations to sit on the committee for the Local Hazards and Waste Management Program, and December the 20th, I was accepted. And so today actually was the first day that we had our meeting. And one of the first things that we did, we elected a vice president for the committee, and her name is Maren Burnett. She works with King County Solid Waste Division. Some of the things that we did talk about was we revealed the programs that we were working with, the Regional Housing Authority and Safe Product Alternatives, and we provided an overview of regional partnerships and where the program should go. And in the future, we look forward to participating with them fully. And there's also, we had a discussion on the rates that are coming in a few months, which we are sure might be of interest to other council members, so more to be determined And last but not least, because I missed the RFA meeting on the 5th, I'd like to say congratulations to our new chairperson, Councilperson Childner. Congratulations. And like I said, more to come in the following months. Like I said, we meet once a month to also every Tuesday. Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilmember Boyd. Councilmember Fincher, please.
Thank you very much. For the Arts Commission, the concert series that is usually up at Lake Meridian will be moved to Morrow Meadows. That will be its home for this entire summer. And Jazz at Lincoln Center again, January 24th. Good music coming out of there. And for Public Works, we accepted a couple of grants tonight that are going to help complete some of the sidewalks and path work here in Kent. King Conservation District, remember to vote. You have until 8 p.m. on the 11th of February. That's kingcd.org. And for the Mental Illness and Drug Dependency Advisory Committee, next meeting is this coming Thursday. And also had the opportunity to do the kickoff for the Waste Reduction Act, which is going to hopefully if passed, will shift responsibility from the consumer for end of life to the producers for end of life of to get recycling items taken care of, whether it's plastic, paper. Less would be charged for easy to recycle items, more for items that are difficult or take a lot to recycle. That is it for me tonight.
Thank you, Councilmember Fincher. And back to you, Madam Mayor.
All right. Thank you so much. Item number 6 on our agenda is public hearing. We do not have one this evening. Item number 7 is public comment. Kim, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
We do not.
All right. Moving on to the consent calendar. This is a compilation of items that the City Council has discussed, had conversation around being able to ask questions and at the Committee of the Whole meeting, and they've moved out of Committee of the Whole without controversy. Tonight we have a consent calendar of items A through F. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Item number 9 is other business. We have none. 10 is bids. We also do not have any bids, nor do we have an executive session. So that brings us down to the bottom of our agenda for the first meeting of 2025. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much. Events. Also going to stop by the shops and talk to a couple of our Public Works employees and have them explain some of the equipment that we use and the operations that go into making sure that we're maintaining and keeping our roads safe during winter weather. As you can see, it is definitely that time of the year. Think about fog, rain, snow, ice. We're going to give you also some tips on making sure that your vehicle's safe.